Hey guys, welcome back to another real estate school free training brought to you by yours truly, David Dodge. I am joined here today by a good friend of mine. I know Mr. David Olds, but I love this guy. He's always been so nice and he's a beast when it comes to business.
Household easy, we close fast, and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it, we'll throw cash at it so fast, don't know what to do.
Hey guys, welcome back to another real estate school free training brought to you by yours truly, David Dodge. I am joined here today by a good friend of mine. I know Mr. David Olds for several years, ran into him at tons of different mastermind events all over the country. I know this guy is very, very active in lots of different masterminds. So if you guys are going to any mastermind events, the odds are you'll probably run into him. He is the man. He has tons and tons of real estate investing experience. I'm going to let him do an intro here. But I love this guy. He's always been so nice, and he's a beast when it comes to business. So welcome, Mr. David Olds. David, how are you, my friend? Welcome here. Thank you.
Yeah, doing great. Thank you so much too for having me and for the incredibly generous introduction. Thank you. That was cool. Yeah, so I think we've talked before. I've been an investor for just a terribly long time, over 20 years, which sounds just ridiculous to even say. Because I had a 20-year career working in building material sales before all of this started, or almost 20 years. So I'm not quite that old, but yeah, man. I was an investor that started in Central Florida back in the early 2000s before the real crash happened, and we lived through that. We kind of rode that wave up, and then as I say, what goes up goes down. It went down very, very quickly, and we basically lost everything. We were one of those people that, luckily we weren't so overextended that we went into debt for 20 years, but we definitely had some houses that we had to let go and not make anything on them. And we relocated here to the Chattanooga area, and we started wholesaling. Hadn't ever really wholesaled anything before that. So we came here out of necessity and figured out how to do it. And the way that we did it was we just worked freaking really hard.
Yep.
Real estate was the thing that we did, morning, day, and night. And we figured out how to do it along the way. We got really great at doing owner finance deals, at learning how to structure those deals. And that's how the bulk of our portfolio is built. Then the market started adjusting a little bit, and as investors, we all change and shift as market conditions adjust. So we got back into rehabbing, and then the market got a little bit better, and we started nationwide wholesaling. And about 3 years ago, we started EZ REI Closings, which is a virtual nationwide transaction coordination company. And what we focus on is helping wholesalers and investors across the country get their deals closed. And we've got a little presentation, a couple slides here, where we'll talk about what we do and why it's so important and why we're growing so quickly, that void that we're filling in the market here. I can start that if I have the power.
So one of the things I love about David is he is like a Swiss Army knife. This guy is wholesaling, he's fixing, flipping, he owns rentals. He's done tons and tons and tons of virtual wholesale deals all across the country. And then obviously today's presentation is all about EZ REI Closings, which is his transaction coordination and closing business. So not only is he helping other investors close their deals not only with the transaction side of it, but the title side of it. But he's also an investor himself, which, if you guys know me or, been to any of my trainings, that, I love to network with other investors that are the real deal, that are obviously doing deals in this business. And, one thing I can say about Mr. David Olds here is that he is the real deal. So again, David, thanks so much for being here today, man.
Thank you, man. That's again incredibly generous, but that's true. When we go to these events, you can definitely pick out the people who are doing deals and the people who are not. The people who like to just talk about it, and that's okay, right? Like we all start someplace, but yeah, one thing that I learned, and there's a couple lessons that I learned that I'll share with you as we go on. One of them that I realized is that our industry, right, if you want to call it guru world, coaching world, whatever that is, spends a lot of time and rightfully so, right? Teaching people how to do marketing and acquisitions, and very little on the backside of our wholesale or regular real estate transaction. And why does that make sense? Well, because we have to get people started. But then after that, unfortunately, a lot of times people are just left to their own devices to go figure it out, or they're told if you have a good contract, it will sell, which is honestly just nonsense. But the one thing that struck us and was an issue over and over and over again when we started was, we had these deals and we would take them to title companies, and they would just tell us no, like, no, we can't close that, or no, it's got too many problems, or you need to do probate, or you need to do all of those things. And I'm certain every person here who's done a deal has experienced that, right? Oh, geez, Dave, you're gonna have to have the seller go through probate. And what happened was, I felt like I was constantly, every week throwing away a contract because we couldn't get the title company told us that they couldn't close it. And I realized a couple of things. One, not every title company is the same. Not all of them want to deal with our nonsense as investors, because we do bring some crazy stuff.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh yeah. It is. We deal with some kooky characters, but we started asking the question, well, what can we do, right? Is there another way that we do this? And, when pressed, whether you use us or use somebody else, you should at least, learn this and understand it, that there's oftentimes another way to get things done. And attorneys typically will always give you the most complicated way to do stuff, because that's how they get paid.
That's how they get paid.
It's like
it's hourly.
Yeah. It's like an insurance company always wants to tell you no. Their first answer is always going to be no, because that's how they make money, right? By not paying you. So that was something that we, very early on, because we deal with investors and we deal with kooky, weird, title issues, that we figured that out pretty early on. So that was sort of one of the foundational things. But anyways, as we grew across the country, and you start doing 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 wholesale deals that are actually closed, you start to learn a couple things about how to get deals closed, not just in your own city, but across the country. So that was one of the reasons that we actually started this company. And again, we realized that, with so many new people coming into this business and so much focus on, marketing and acquisitions, and even a little bit on dispositions, that there was still a gap in learning how to get those deals closed, right? And that was what we saw, where we could step in with our expertise of doing all of these deals and really start to help people out. Because we all had the same questions, right? Like, I know I would sit at home before we became one of the biggest wholesalers in the country and be like, well, how do these guys do it, right? Like, how are they closing all of these deals? Like literally, how do they get through the day? Because I know when I was a single guy, running my own, small shop with me and my wife and my brother, like, we would max out at 3 to 5 deals a month, right?
Yep.
Like, that was literally all that we could do, because math and science tell us there's only 24 hours in the day, right? So you only have so much time. You can only work 20 hours a day, right? You got to sleep at least a couple. So,
Yep.
How are people to scale their business without having these huge staffs? And we saw that, right? Even back 5 or 6, 8 years ago, there were a couple of these companies that were really popping up. And how were they able to do that? How were they able to grow and build their companies, especially in multiple markets, and not have the same struggles that we had when we started with the title companies, right? We had one attorney here in Chattanooga. We actually called him Dr. No, because every time we took him a contract, it was, nope, we're not going to be able to do that one, right? So, what we figured out and what you're going to discover is that you can completely outsource everything that has to do with your title and paperwork, right? Literally everything from the moment you get that contract signed, you can hand that contract off to us, and we will take that from you just like a baton in a relay race. And now, instead of you fighting through, oh my goodness, I need the title company in West Virginia, or how do I get through this monument of title, or what am I going to do if there's lost trust documents, or I don't even know where to get a death certificate. What are you guys talking about, right?
Right.
Instead of all of that, like, you could just push that to somebody else at an incredibly cheap price, where somebody can do it better than you, and you can go back and focus on the thing that you want to do, right? All of us got in this business to do deals. right? That's why we're doing this. We did not get into the real estate to become title experts, right? That's a completely different personality type. We're all hustlers and we want to jump out of the plane and build that parachute on the way down and not, have to learn all of the crazy intricacies of title, right? And we've been able to help some of the very largest wholesale companies in the country really just maximize their revenue with minimal effort and without having to do more hiring, because that's the secret. That's the real secret, right? When you're looking at a P&L at the end of the month, how can I make more money and spend less, right? Because
there's been times in my business where I've had no closing coordinators, and it is difficult to go beyond 3 to 5 deals a month because you're doing the marketing, you're doing the follow-up. And then once you start getting deals that are, getting ready to close, there's a lot of time commitment that comes in to just manage those people. So then at one point I had 1 closing coordinator. At one point I had 2 closing coordinators. Well, having the closing coordinators on your staff can be good and bad. It can be great because it takes you away from having to do those tasks, but it creates more overhead and more management and more stress. And then if you can't keep the deal flow at the level to maintain having 2 people, you got to scale back down to 1 and then maybe scale back down to 0. So David, one of the greatest parts about your business is it eliminates that entire issue in people's businesses of having to hire and manage and train and oversee and keep them happy, these additional employees.
And that training, right? That's the most important thing, because if you don't know how to do it, and I say you, whoever, you might be,
anyway,
if you don't know how to do it, how are you going to bring somebody in to train them? And
that's another great point.
We all get this fantasy that, oh, I'm going to hire this retired title agent, or I'm going to hire this great realtor who's just can come in and handle it all for me. And the reality is that you're not going to get that person for $5-10 an hour, $12, $15 an hour. They are very expensive. We have 3 of them on staff, and I can tell you they're all $40,000-$45,000 people.
For sure.
So, if you're not doing the kind of volume just in your own business, that gets to where it's just really cost prohibitive. So, how can we help you really maximize your revenue, get more deals closed with, really minimal effort, where you just don't have to do the ads, do the interviews, do the hiring, do the payroll, do the training, do the management, do all of that type of stuff, right? So, because, it's true, less is more, right? If you can work less on the things that you don't want to be doing and spending your time focused on the things that you enjoy, right? Acquisitions, dispositions, marketing, the fun things, the reasons that we got into this business, that's how your company will actually grow, So, well, my clicker doesn't seem to want to work here today. Let's try this. There it is. So here's how we can help you. Our whole goal is to help you close your deals faster with less effort, right? We're in the time compression business, right? We are an administrative customer service business. All we want to do is help you get your deals closed faster than ever before, right? We want to help you scale your business without adding more people, without adding the payroll, all of the nonsense that goes on with that. I don't know about you, but we do have a big staff, and all those reports, and I pay to the state of Tennessee and the state of Georgia and the state of North Carolina, all that reporting and all of that stuff. Most people don't want to do that. They don't want to incur that extra cost. So we can show you how we can do that, how we can help you get that time back in your business to focus on the things that you want to be doing and not just mired in nonsense title stuff. And I'm not, I shouldn't say nonsense, because it is important, right? Clearing title are the things that actually get the wire put in your bank account, get the check sent to your company. But again, for most of us, even for me, and I own the company, it feels like walking through quicksand some days, right? Oh my God, another problem, another issue. I thought I had all the paperwork. Now they're emailing me and I got to go back to the seller and I got to get more stuff, right? And we have pulled and done studies with our clients. And what we found is that, title work can take 25 to 30% of your time. That's a real number. And what would happen if we could give you that time back?
And I just want to mention one thing real quick, David. This can be very beneficial to people that are doing 3 and 5 and 10 deals a month, guys. But I don't want to discount the people doing 1 or 2 deals a month either, because, you might not need to hire somebody if you're doing 1 or 2 deals a month, but 30% of the time that you're going to be working in your business is going to be dedicated to getting these across the line.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I work with that are okay having, you know, a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 marketing budget, but they only want to
Mhm.
spend an hour or two a day in the business.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so by just not having to spend the time dealing with the coordination and the title and all the process of getting the ball across the finish line allows them to free up their time and focus on what really matters. And that's talking to sellers and getting on appointments and making offers, right? That's the most important part of this
100%.
business. So I just
It
want to
is.
emphasize that it's not necessarily just for those people that are, you know, swinging the heavy bats and hitting the home runs
Yeah.
all the time. It's for anybody and everybody that wants to get their time back.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's outsourcing, right? Especially like when I started, I had a real job. You know, at my first 5 or 6 years of being a real estate investor, I had a job where I went, I'd say 9 to 5, but it was more like 7 to 7, right? Well, somebody during the middle of the day has to talk to title companies when they're open.
When they're open.
It'd be great if title companies would take our calls at 9 o'clock at night, but they're not because they're home with their families, right?
Right.
So, you know, two basic rules on outsourcing, whether you're outsourcing, you know, your pay-per-click marketing or your cold calling or your texting or transactions, whatever it is can you find somebody who can do it cheaper than you? And can you find somebody who can do it better? Right. Those that's a good rule of thumb to look at and say, okay, you know, cheaper and better, and that will help me scale up. So that's the way that I've always looked at it in my business. So ultimately, what we want to do is we want to help you solve your problems, right? What are the problems? Your problems are the cost of lost deals, right? Whether you're doing, you know, 1 or 2 deals a month or 20, over the course of the year, you're going to lose deals, just like I did, because you're going to go to the title company and there's going to be some issue and you're not going to know how to overcome that, right?
Mhm.
I can tell you, you know, we did over 1,200 deals just in 2022. We have seen all of the deals. It's going to be very rare that somebody sends us something that our team of 12 coordinators has no experience. And honestly, they're very excited when you do. Because they deal with the same stuff over and over and over again, right?
Yep.
So we want to help you work. This is something my dad beat into me. He was an ex-Army guy. Work hard or work smart, not hard, right? But right now, you know, if you're trying to do everything yourself, you're doing the opposite. You're trying to work just a million hours a day, and that's a little bit of hustle culture, right? We all feel like if we're not, you know, out there swinging the hammer, just, you know, 14 hours a day, that we're not putting in, you know, a good day's work. And, you know, Dave, somebody asked me on a podcast, maybe a couple of weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, what was the thing that helped you really blow up your company and go nationwide with your wholesaling? And I had to think about it for a little bit. And what I realized was, you know, all of us investors, business owners, entrepreneurs, everybody on this call is an entrepreneur. You know, we've all got just a little touch of narcissism, right? Where we can do it better than anybody else. And I
Heard
get
that.
it. Yeah. And we are all awesome, right? There's something that all of us is individually freaking amazing at, but we're not amazing at everything. All right. So, you know, what really helped my company just blow up and expand and go from, you know, 5, 6, 7 deals a month to 20, 25 deals a month was realizing that I needed to surround myself with people who are experts in their field.
Mm-hmm.
So that I could focus on the thing that I feel like I am, you know, the best in the world at, right? I feel like I'm really great at dispositions and solving problems, but I'm not the greatest acquisitions guy. I'm just not. Like, I can do it, but I'm not the greatest acquisition person. You know, there are better transactions people. There are certainly people who can do better pay-per-click ads than me. So once I started putting those people in place, that was when my company really started to grow. So we want you working smarter, not harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want you to spend less time doing paperwork, because none of us got into this business to do paperwork. I promise you, nobody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and said, geez, if I could just learn more about trust documents, my life would be great, right?
Yes, yes.
You know, and you know, something that's different now than maybe in 2002, 3, 4 is everybody's virtual, right? Technology has made it so easy for us to pop in and out of different markets all over the country. And that's awesome, right? It gives us more opportunities at the well, more chances to fish. But once you start bouncing in and out of different states, there's different laws, there's different counties.
Yeah, different rules, different regulations, different types of closings. Do you need an attorney? Can you use a title company? There's a lot of things, and it varies from city to city and state to state, and sometimes county to county even.
Dude, 3,500 counties in this country, and
3,500 counties, and they all do it a little differently.
They all do it differently. So, you know, our team has closed deals in all 50 states and all transaction types. So that's what we can do, is we can really smooth out that process where, honestly, when, our wholesale company we were one of the first clients for EZ, like I forgot that stuff was even happening. And all of a sudden just deposit would show up in my account, $22,000. I'm like, what was that for? Oh, that's that deal that we sold 3 weeks ago. Oh,
okay.
dude, that's the greatest feeling ever when that starts happening, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you, because I wasn't involved in that day to day of, oh, I need to get the seller's social security number. Oh, is the seller married? Where can I get the divorce decree? Oh, I need a death certificate. Oh, there's affidavits of heirship, all of those things, right? And, the last problem is not having a well-trained or efficient team or people that are working on your behalf, right? It's so easy to feel like we're busy during the day, but not being productive. We can all run around like a chicken with our head cut off, but we want to be spending our time doing revenue generating activities and not doing that. Like, you'll go home tired at the end of the day, but what did you actually accomplish? So again, why should you trust us? Well, we've been doing this for decades. Me personally, we have people on our team. There are some added people since this picture was taken that literally have been title agents for 15 and 20 years. People in the mortgage industry, debt collection industry, abstractors, just people that have been in this business that honestly, I feel like I'm really smart at this, but our team is actually, they're even better at it than I am now, which is a little tough to say, but they solve some amazing problems. And we have experience with all types of deals, right? Wholesale, creative, novation, RBP, wraps, land, all of the stuff. We're the only company that can do that for you and close in all 50 states. And all of our coordinators are here in the office, right? We're not running, these aren't virtual assistants. These aren't people working, off their couch, sitting at home. And that's fine. Like, we have virtual assistants in our other companies that do marketing and do some other stuff, but title is not the place where you want to have a virtual assistant with a heavy accent. It's just not, right? There might be a couple places in the country where that would work, but if you have someone from the Philippines who calls Mrs. Smith in West Virginia, who talks like this, and your VA starts calling her, asking for her social security number and her wiring instructions, it's probably going to be the end of your deal, right?
Yeah, agreed.
What are they going to think, right? Oh, it's a scam, because we're just so filled with that kind of stuff in our world. So
it's getting worse and worse every day. It's sad, but that's the reality we live in. I agree.
Crazy. The calls that I get for people wanting to buy my properties, it feels like it stops. We've done $85 million in transactions, right? This isn't something that we do part-time. Wow. We do a lot of deals. Our client assignments or profits, because some of these are novations, 14.7, almost $14.8 million in assignment fees. So we have generated a ton of money for our clients. We're making a lot of people really, really rich. And our average assignment is $30,000. The industry average is something like 18,600 and something. It's a little over 18,000. So why is that? Like, why is our assignment fee, 40% higher? Because our clients have the time to go out and spend finding the best deals, negotiating the best prices with their buyers, and they're not spending 20 or 30% of their time.
They're not bogged down.
Not bogged down, right? And they're enjoying their business. Or if they've got teams of acquisitions and dispositions, they're able to go out there and spend time with their team instead of just on the minutia, right? Because what we do, we focus on getting your deals closed. We have a big sign on our wall that says #close the deal. Like, that's our job. That's what we do for our clients. So again, why us? Our whole focus is help you make more money, do more deals, and have more freedom, right? We want to give you that time back. That time goes back to you. Well, now you can get, instead of maybe 4 deals a month, now this is how you get to 6, 7, and 8, right? Because you have more time. You're going to make more money because you're going to be doing more deals. We're going to get more of those deals closed. Our industry average, it's a little bit terrible, but our industry average is only 50% of wholesale deals close.
Is it that low?
It is. That's from, in Family Mastermind, there's all the big CRM providers, RealFlow, FreedomSoft, REI Black Book, and REI Simply. And they did a little informal combining of data, and it runs at about 50%. We run a 60% close rate for our clients, which, it's pretty good, but we're
hey, that's better than the average. That's great.
Yeah, our goal is to get our clients up to 70%. But we really feel that if 50% of the deals in the country aren't closing, we can save half of those. Half of them can be closed by making sure that we take better care of your buyer, better care of your seller, and that we are actually solving those title issues. So that's why, once somebody comes and starts working with us, they never want to leave because they just don't have to worry about that anymore, right? And now they get to spend all of their time doing the things that they love doing, which is why they got into this business, right? They want to enjoy it because, what we've been able to give them is just a proven system for making sure that these deals are just closing like clockwork over and over and over again. So Sam, I don't know if you know Sam, he's a young investor. And listen, I do say this, and I can say this because I'm a wholesaler. Most wholesalers were a little bit of banana heads, right? In that we're very scatterbrained. We're always running in every single direction. Sam is an amazing kid. This kid, he's done some of the biggest assignment fees I've ever seen. $500,000 assignment fees. I mean, big stuff on apartment buildings, but great kid, terribly unorganized. But he just is, right? But now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And that's how he is just absolutely freaking crushing it. And, if you can read what he said, but we've made it a smoother process and eliminated a lot of the paperwork and all the administrative tasks that come with doing each deal. So now he's out there running around town in his Corvette, just locking up deals left and right, because that's what he's good at. Like he is the personification of somebody who's freaking amazing at going out and putting a deal together. I don't know how he signed the paperwork for his Corvette because he's so bad at that part of it, but he understands that.
You guys are empowering the hell out of him because now he can focus on what he does best and probably what he enjoys doing the most at the same time, which is awesome. That's such a cool thing.
A ton of money.
Yeah.
But his challenges are no different than yours, mine, and everybody else's, right? Finding a good title company, gathering all the paperwork that they're going to need, right? That paperwork, that call and email for, from the title company of, oh, I need, is the seller married? Well, now I got to stop what I'm doing.
And ask.
Go back, call the seller. No, I'm divorced. Great. I think I got the answer. I'm back to the title company. No, he's divorced. And they're like, well, that's not the end.
Yeah.
Was he divorced before or after?
Now we got 3 more questions. When did he get divorced?
So,
Do you have a divorce decree? Right? Is it finalized? Is it still in court? Give me all the paperwork that comes along with it. I know because I'm firsthand in the trenches on this stuff sometimes.
Yeah. So this is the stuff this is why you're not, if you're trying to grow your business, whether you're trying to go from 1 to 5 or 4 to 7 or 10 to 20, this is why you're not growing your business, because you're spending time gathering up paperwork, clearing title issues, coordinating signatures and closings. That is not something you should be doing. Mm-hmm. Your area of power is cooking up the deal, right? That's where we get the biggest rush, making the deals happen. I mean, finding local notaries. Come on, man. You should not be spending 1 minute doing that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Recording memos. That's one thing that we do for our clients. It costs a little bit extra because, there's a cost for it. But, if you've ever felt like you had a squirrely seller and you're like, geez, I hope this person doesn't bounce out on me. That's something we can do.
Protect your interest in the deal. Absolutely.
Dude, about 5 years ago, I'm like, I'm going to learn how to file a notice of interest. I was like 3 days trying to figure it out. I'm like, this is stupid. Is it on the right size paper? Is the margin right? Is the
the way that you have to record things is so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, but it is. You don't know.
We know we do dozens of them every week for our clients. And then again, just the challenges, lost deals and lost revenue, right? How many deals did you not close because somebody said there was a title issue? And I'm not here to tell you every deal can be closed. There are some that are just an absolute mess, but I think 50% of them can be closed, right? And if the average deal is $18,000, what's that worth to you? Mm-hmm. Ryan, I love Ryan, great guy, came into us and his business is really blown up, but he has probably the best quote ever. I don't ever want to go back to that dirty past life where we were doing TCs in house, right? Having them on the team has helped to streamline his business, and it's just worth every penny. So again, another guy he's a guy who came in who was doing 1 or 2 deals a month, and he's like, listen, I'm going to turn this into a business. This is what I want to do. But my God, I don't know jack or shit about title work. And I'm tired of just beating my head against the wall and trying to Google everything and not getting the right answer because it's in some state different than what the answer that I'm getting online.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem is like you guys may learn how it works in your county. That's great, but there's 3,500 of them.
Yeah. And do you want to do that?
Like, do you want to spend all that time trying to learn all this stuff for one deal in some random county that you may or may not ever operate in ever again. Like you're talking, you could spend 10, 15 hours on that one deal just trying to figure this stuff out. And to me, I'd rather have that 10 or 15 hours back so I can go to my lake house with my wife or I'm going to go to the pool this afternoon, the country club with the wife and hang out at the pool and drink some beers and not worry about the closings. I can promise you that.
Dude, I'm going to Puerto Rico tomorrow.
It's only because of David here.
Yeah. So again, when we say that, get more freedom, use that freedom for whatever you want. Go get 2 more deals, go golf. For me, it's golfing is just tearing up the greens, but I enjoy it. Right. Have a beer, go hike with your kids, but get that time back and you choose how to spend it. You're not at the beck and call of a title company. Again, our mantra is close the deal, right? So one thing that was important to me, Dave, when we started this company, we knew there were a lot of flaws in the industry, right? Title work is not perfect. And, we've tried to use big title companies, we've tried to use small ones. And so many times I would, I'd turn in our file or turn in our contract and our assignment contract in the EMD. And I would call over there after 2 or 3 days. I'd be like, hey, Penelope, just calling to check up on 123 Main Street. Oh, I don't have that anymore. Steven has it. All right, can you transfer me to him? Hey, Steven, voicemail. Yeah. He calls me the next day. Oh man, listen, I'm gonna be out for a couple days. I sent it, Josie's gonna be handling this one, right? And I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole with these title companies. This is a real thing. They don't care, right? Investor business is not their favorite business, right? For most title companies, they don't love us because, we bring them problems that have to be kind of all unwound and untangled. So knowing that, which is why we're opening a nationwide title company ourselves, so we can do all of this in-house. But one thing we knew from day one was I needed to make sure that these coordinators here were focused on getting your deal closed, right? That they were going to be fucking relentless about making sure that they were on your side and that they win the same time you win. So we were very purposeful how we set up our company, and they're all on a salary plus commission. So what does that mean? When your deal closes and funds, they get a commission.
I love it.
That
motivates the hell out of them. Because the title companies that we work with locally, they don't get any commissions typically. The people that work there, they're fixed and they get, and it's not even that much money. It's, it's $500, $700, $800, $900, whatever. It just obviously depends on the deal and depends on if you're the buyer or the seller, but it's not a lot of money. So they're not motivated.
You would think title companies make a lot of money and they don't. They really
They're not motivated. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. You've got a couple thousand deals under your belt. I got about 1,000 of my own deals under the belt, and they are not motivated. And they're typically not very interested in going the extra mile either. It's like, here's what we need. Go get it for us. And it's like, isn't that what we're paying you to do? And they're like, nope. You got to go do that now. It's like,
and that's true. There's so many people that are like, well, make the title company do it for you. It's not their job.
It's not their job. No, their job is to process the paperwork, right? Yeah. But if the paperwork isn't there, they're not going to fill it out for you at all, No.
And then you've got your deal for 120, but they've got this brand new subdivision house for 400,000.
Right.
Which I think they're going to focus on that. And again, it's their business to run there however they want, right? But we wanted to make sure that our coordinators were constantly keeping pressure and moving these files through the system, right? So that's why we set them up on that pay plan. My buddy Alex, probably one of our biggest success stories as far as where they started and where they ended up. They started 97,000 was their first month with us, and within a couple months they went to 811,000 in 1 month.
Damn.
Dude, that's a big growth. They were able to scale their company because instead of paying for transaction coordinators, they were able to take that money and flush it back into their payroll.
Back into their marketing. Yeah. Their acquisitions department. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Dude, they absolutely blew up. They work a lot on the West Coast, and they are just crushing it. And these are guys that have been doing it for 20 years. They were in business a year.
That's amazing. They've been doing this for a year and they're making 800 grand in revenue in a month.
811. That was their biggest month.
Damn.
And they're at 5, 6, 7 all the time, but it's 811 was the biggest month, and it was a mix of novations and wholesale deals. But they just absolutely just crush it. We're so proud of them and seeing their growth.
Holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So transaction coordinators, You know, we are not the only one. We are the only one that's nationwide, but that you can find a local small transaction coordinator, maybe. You know, I mean, I'm not sitting here to tell you that we are the only people, but we are the only ones that can serve you in all 50 states and have actually closed deals in all 50 states with all transaction types. And that's how we were started. We knew coming out of the gate, that was who we were going to be, right?
Mhm.
We're not part-time realtors who are part-time listing properties and part-time trying to get your deals closed. Like our team, this is all that they do all day, every day. All of them, they're all in office certified, no VAs, you know, they are hired and instructed that we are in the customer service business. This is a white glove service for our clients.
Everybody speaks English fluently. There's not crazy accents. They
Yeah.
all know how to talk to people in all of the different states, regardless
Right.
if they're in, you know, the Northeast or the Southwest or whatever, right?
Yeah, we do.
Accents up in Minnesota, they can deal with those people.
We do a
Doesn't
lot
matter.
of personality training with them because, you know, also, you know, coordinators are a different personality, right?
Mhm.
When I ran big sales teams, I would come out, there'd be music playing, everybody's like real hyped up. Dude, when I come out, because, you know, I'm pointing to them like you can see them, they're on the other side of this wall, but it's so quiet. Because they're
Yeah.
all like,
They're all focused though. That's the
they're
thing. That's good.
yeah, they're not like crazy party people. They're spreadsheet people, right? They're just plugging through their work, you know. So, but again, so what makes us different is it's 100% done for you. We literally, it's like the old baton or relay race in high school. Hand that baton off to us. Go do your next thing. We will contact your seller. We will take care of it, gathering all the paperwork. We will all do all the clearing, title clearing work, all the way up to closing. Now, if there's a problem and somebody doesn't answer us, of course, we're going to reach back out to you. And we do a great job of making sure that we keep you informed of what's going on. We're very, very transparent. We have a customized deal freedom hub, which is really just a portal. And I'll show you a picture of it here in a minute, but you can log in anytime, day or night, and see exactly what's going on with your deal. Because that was another problem that we saw in the industry was, like, as a business owner, like, again, as the owner of EZ, I take it very serious that you will trust us with your deal. Like,
Sure.
that's a big honor for us. We like, I know what a big deal that is. So when we started the company, we knew there had to be a place where you as the client could log in 2 a.m. on a Tuesday and go, holy shit, what's going on with 123 Main Street? Boom, I could click on it. I could see all of the comments, all of the emails, all of the documents that have been collected, every single thing about this property, to know that somebody is working your deal.
That's awesome. I love that.
You know, so, and again, I'll put our team up against anybody, just world-class support. We will, you know, notify you every single week. Hey, here's everything that's going on with your deals. But if you want to call us, Slack us, email us, text us, whatever it is, you know, our coordinators are here, you know, during business hours for you.
Perfect.
And, you know, another, like, kind of the final piece where we talked about a little earlier is, you know, you call the title company and this one's got it, that one's got it, this one's got it. Once a file comes in and it's assigned to a coordinator, that coordinator is with that file till the end. Right?
Nice. So it's not
Unless
being
he's on
handed
vacation.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, our people do get vacations. I'm not that much of an
Of course. Yeah, of course. But it's not
But-
happening just because of some other random reason.
Right.
It's most of the time it's going to stay with the same person that it started with.
Yep.
And that's just awesome. You're not going to have to
Yep.
be dealing with all these additional people, right? That's
Yep.
the point. Make it easy.
Easy. That's it. We want to hold your hand because you don't need to be a title expert, right? That's not what we got into this business to do. You know, our boy Corey, right?
Oh,
Corey,
he just moved to Puerto Rico.
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Nice. I love
Saturday.
Corey.
Yeah, he's you know, Corey absolutely crushing it. One of the people who got novations going nationwide. When we started, Corey was, of course, a friend of mine, and we brought him in to, you know, one, teach us how to do novations from a transactions point of view. But, you know, we brought in a couple of people, early people on before we went public, to see if we could, if there were any flaws in our company, to see if we could actually break it. Well, when Corey started, he had 2 people, 2 full-time coordinators, 1 file handler, 1 TC, that he paid $40,000 a month to, or $40,000 a year to each. So that was $80,000.
$80K a year, though. That's a
80K,
lot of
dude.
money.
See it. So by eliminating those 2 people, he was able to put that 80K back into PPC. Who'd like to have 80 grand of PPC tomorrow?
That would be amazing.
What do you think that does to your leads?
That is
A
going to
lot.
make you get a lot of leads.
That's a lot of
A
leads.
lot
So
of leads.
that's what, an extra 6 grand a month, 6, 7 grand a month. That's a bunch, right?
Yes, it
So
is.
we were really able to take Corey's company and help him grow and expand, and all of his students too. So, if anybody's doing novations, we do almost 40% of our deals are novations. And Brewer Method, RBP, they're all basically the same. And our team actually loves doing them. We do so many of them. I would say we probably do more than any single title company in the country. So we're very well versed at all of them and how all of that works. So, benefits and features, we are super easy to work with. You can literally sign up today. We'll onboard you tomorrow. And then you've got a team of just the most badass coordinators in the country, just working for you on your behalf, solving your problems. Super low barrier of entry. Again, we are stupid cheap for what we do. Every client receives their own custom portal where you can see all of your deals and what stage they're in, and you'll see them actually move across the screen as it goes from the very beginning, which is gathering seller docs, all the way to the end, which would be getting that deal closed. We talked about having a dedicated coordinator, getting your time back, and ultimately closing more deals and getting more checks. I think this might be the last one. Miss Lori, she is out of South Carolina. I wanted to get the ladies represented here. Super great girl, so smart, a lot of creative deals. But for her to have said, given us this testimonial was amazing, that very detailed and organized. We can help fix title issues, quick, trustworthy, quick to respond, always keeping them in the loop, and would highly recommend us to any investor. We are very purposeful when we are hiring for our coordinators to make sure that, they check all of the boxes, right? We will not bring in somebody who, like a salesperson for, one of our other companies is not, people don't work back and forth, right? We make sure that the coordinators are, they fit the mold of what's the right word, that they enjoy this type of business, that they have experience in the title industry, and that they're here to make sure and take care of you guys. So this is what it looks like. Our file status board, our portal. You can actually see on the left there is gathering seller docs. Those are all of the major statuses of a deal, all the way from closing pending, all the way to closed. And you'll actually see, you'll all have your own custom board where you can only see your deals. You can't see David's deals. David can't see Mike. Sure. Stuff, right? So it's your personal portal. And each one of those boxes is explodable, and you can see every single bit of information. We are incredibly transparent. There's nothing that we can see that you can't see. So,
man, I love it. Guys, in the chat, I dropped a link down here. This is a link where you guys can go and you can book a call with David's team to learn more about how to get started working with them, what it costs, what the onboarding looks like. But at the end of the day, they do make it easy. I love how easy they make it. So you guys can go live your dream life. It's all about getting back your freedom, right? Man. I can tell you from experience that, once you start to make a good amount of money, making more money is always going to, make you feel a little better, but at what cost, at what expense, right? And to me, at this point in my life, having freedom is really more valuable than making more money. It's just one of these things. So 100%. I love David's business. I love this man. He is such an awesome human. And I can't, I wouldn't have him here today to be talking and teaching about his business and how he can help you. And I can't think of anybody out here that's done it or is doing it better than him. And again, that's why he is here. So again, if you guys want to book a call, no obligation call to learn more about the business, please go do so. There's a link there. You can even scan this QR code. Dave, do you have 10, 15 minutes to open it up for Q&A?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, if you guys do this, let me take a picture of this and go ahead, because I'm going to take this off so that I can see y'all and we can answer questions. So
let me take a picture for school. Got it. Okay, cool. We'll leave it up for about 10 more. That's good. I got a picture. I'll post it. I'll post it in school. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, guys, this is the time where we get to talk to David, pick his brain, ask questions. Please, please, please don't be shy. It looks like we got about 11 of us on the call here. Yeah. If you guys have any and all questions, just unmute yourself. We'd love to see your camera as well. I can even turn this back into a gallery view for us here. So yeah, let's open it up. If you have any questions at all, let's talk about them.
Title issues or problems or foreclosure.
And David,
bank.
you guys are in Chattanooga?
We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yep. All of our people are based here in our office. We have a big 6,000 square foot office. In fact, we just put some new decals up on the wall yesterday.
I saw the post online. It looks great, man.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
We love it.
That's
Cool.
amazing. That's amazing. And you guys have been in business for how many years with the
We're
EZ
coming up on
REI
our
closings?
third year.
Third
Yeah.
year, man. That's amazing.
Great.
All 50 states. Average assignment fee is 30K. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And you're doing like 40%, give or take, novations, which is
You know what?
amazing.
You know what's popped recently too, and we can, one great thing about what we do is we get a 40,000 foot overview of the country. We're just doing, I don't know, 50 closings a week or something for our clients. So we can see what areas are good, what areas are bad. And that's one thing that we'll do with our clients is we're happy to jump on a call. And if you say, hey, I'm thinking about going to Pennsylvania, we're like, okay, but let me just tell you here, here's what's good and bad about that area. And we have the ability to do that in pretty much any place in the country. You want to go to Birmingham. Well, here are the issues in Birmingham, right? Lots of tax deeds, there's water shut off stuff. There's just some goofy things. You want to be in Tennessee, here's what's good, here's what's bad, right? So because we're closing so many deals all across the country, we do really get that bird's eye view of things. So
I love it. Okay. Bob says, I don't see a link to the title company. Okay. So here it's above in the chat here. I'll just post it again for you. Should go to everyone. So this right here will take you to a page where you can book a call, learn more, get onboarded.
Yep.
And David can help you guys with all that. It looks like Jaden has a comment here. He says, I'm from Austin, Texas.
I love Austin. Our
This
assignment fee ever was in Austin, Texas, $474,000.
Might be Stella Williams or Jaden. I'm not sure. Either way, it says, thank you for this amazing training, David D and David O. Absolutely. We're happy to be here. I had not even thought of doing deals in different states yet. Thank you for sharing opening this option up to me. My questions were about MAC and where to see the progress of the deals, MOCs in different areas. I heard you can file the MOCs, but if there are issues, do you help with that as well?
Yeah,
we'll got an email. Go ahead.
Memorandum of contract or notice of contract. Yeah, we'll file that for you. My team always gets a little antsy when I say that because there are some counties who are not online, believe it or not, out of 3,500. So there are some where it has to actually be physically mailed to them or hand delivered. The bulk of them, though, we can file online, and we have the ability to file probably more than you would because you have to be an agency, a certified agency to file in some counties. They're a little fussy. So we can file, I think 90%, but sometimes we get clients who want to work in weird small counties in Western PA or West Virginia or something. And we'll prepare the notice of contract for you. We'll send it to you and you'll just have to notarize it and put your check in there and mail it. But yeah, 100%, we can help you do that. So
yeah, regardless, you guys can help at least give direction. If not, just do the whole thing all the way for them too.
Yeah, again, 90%, but I have to give that disclosure because we did pick up one client he lives in Puerto Rico, but he's doing deals and it's just his thing, right? And it's kind of these small little towns and he's picking some counties that are not online. So, but we'll give you a solution though.
I love that. Still has one more question here. It says, how many deals should you be making before thinking of having a coordinator for our deals? And then she said 3+. And really, it just depends on how much time and dedication you want to put into it. Like me personally, I don't want to do any of it. Even if I'm only doing 1 or 2 deals in a month, which is pretty rare. Usually we're probably doing 4 to 6 on average. We've scaled way down. It used to be 10 to 15, but we're just doing bigger deals and just spending more time at the country club. Let's be honest. But even if I'm only doing 1 or 2 deals, I don't want to deal with it personally. I just don't. Dave, how would you answer that question? I'd imagine it's pretty similar.
Very similar, but what I'll tell you is if you are doing 2 to 3 deals a month, we'll jump on a call and I'll show you how we're free.
There you go. Show you how they can become free to you.
Right.
I love that.
So if you're only doing 1 to 2 now, but obviously you want to scale up, book that call. We'll show you how. We'll teach you how to put pass that cost off to your end buyer.
Ooh, I like that.
There's nothing better than outsourcing your biggest headache, which is title work. Guaranteed, it's title work.
Yeah.
And figuring out how for it not to cost you anything or to actually turn it into a profit center.
The first thing I did in my business And this is, I've been in this for about 8.5 years at this point. And after about 6 months, I brought on, actually less than that, it's by 4 months. I brought on a virtual assistant to start doing some of the cold calling on my behalf because I was just tired of dealing with it. And then maybe 4 or 5 months later, I brought on a closing coordinator.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the progress of my business, because I'm like, you know what is taking up the most amount of my time? And also I looked at, I always want to do this comparison too, right? What's your time worth? Like, just think about that for a minute. What's your time worth? And to me, if I can hire somebody at, $6, $7, $8 an hour to do cold calling, my time is worth that way, way, way more than $6, $7, $8 an hour. So why not have somebody else do those tasks for me, right? Well, it's the same thing with closing coordination, right? How much is your time worth? And if you can pay somebody else to do the same task, and here's the thing, they can do it better than you because they're doing 50 to 100 deals a week for other investors. Not only are they going to be doing it better, they're going to be more efficient at it. And they're going to know a lot of the stuff in advance that they can just go ahead and pre-prepare. So they're not having to do it in real time. It's kind of a no-brainer.
It is. So one of the things that we, and I didn't really talk too much about it. So that the kind of the TikTok of how it works is you're going to upload your contract to us. What will happen is one of our team leaders will look at that contract and go, okay, this is a novation in Pennsylvania. We are going to immediately assign it to the correct title company, right? We work with over 180 title companies nationwide, and all of those title companies we have vetted. So if it is a novation deal or a sub two assignment or creative or wrap, whatever it is, we will only assign it to a title company that we know can close that deal, right? Because they'll work, especially novations. Like novations go sideways quicker than anything else because you're dealing with a retail agent and a retail buyer. So there's
a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, right? But no matter what type of deal it is, we don't want to put it with a title company because, again, our team is paid commission, so they want your stuff to close. But we don't want to put it someplace where at the last second someone's going to go, wah, wah, wah. Sorry, we don't do this type of deal. Like, we don't do that.
And if you know that in advance, you can avoid that altogether, right? It's a no-brainer.
We work smart, not hard. So we're going to assign it to a title company. We're going to assign it to a coordinator. The first thing that coordinator is going to do, Dave, is she's going to jump on. We do have one guy. I always say she, but she's going to jump on the phone with Mrs. Smith and go, hey, Mrs. Smith, this is Aaron, and I'm working with David on your house over at 123 Main Street. And I'm going to be your point of contact from here all the way till closing. Let me give you my information. And Mrs. Smith, I need to start to collect some information for the title company so that we can get you paid and get this closed out. Do you have just a minute? So based off the type of transaction, our team has the right checklist. They know what they're going to need to collect, right? So the minute they hear a dead person, they know. Obituary, who are the heirs, draw me a tree. I want to see who all the family is so that we can start to check people off the list. When they hear bankruptcy, they know.
They have a different tree, right?
Yeah. Tenant. Oh, great. We're going to get an estoppel letter. We're going to collect your leases.
Yeah, divorce, whatever it may be. They're going to learn, and they're going to then go check all these boxes. Because if we were to give you guys a checklist that didn't specify what was needed for what type of deal, it'd be 10 pages long. You don't want to have to go through that for every one of your deals, right? Let the pros do it for you. Get your time back. Yeah. And I would highly suggest every one of you guys book a call, not only because it's going to get your time back, but David can actually teach you guys how you can work with him for free, and how you can pass along some of these costs directly to your buyers or your sellers or whoever is involved.
We have people that do both.
Do both.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when, Alex Hermosi, when we started this company that, is $100 million offer, we looked at it and said, okay, how can we make this an absolute no brainer for somebody? Like, I want it to be so hard for you to say no. All right. If you say no, you're going to be in the middle of a really bad, terrible deal in about 2 weeks. And you're going to go, shit, I wish I was letting them deal with this. I wish somebody else was doing this because I hate doing this business. Right. So again, we want to make it great for our clients that it's impossible to say no. And we want to help you grow. You will never find a vendor. You're never going to have a vendor work with you that's more interested in your growth than we are. Right. Because the more deals you do, right, obviously you make more, we make more. Everybody makes more. And the way that we charge, just to tell you, it's not like a surprise. It's just based off the number of deals that you're going to do per month. So if you're doing 1 to 5, there's a tier for that. If you're doing 6 to 10, if you're the 10 to 20, or beyond that, we have the enterprise people like the mega wholesalers, right? So I'm not going to charge somebody doing 3 deals a month, the same thing, we charge a Keekly franchise, right? That
Sure.
that doesn't make any sense. So we've set it in tiers, and we want you to grow. And most of our clients do actually grow, and we see them progressing, and they're very excited. It's like a graduation for us when we get to graduate you up to the next level.
That's so cool, man. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, Dave, I want to respect your time today, and I also don't want to have these call recordings get too long. So
Sure.
let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming here. You are the man, guys. I cannot recommend David and EZ REI Closings enough. They have some of the best people in the business. They're going to help you in so many ways that you can't even think about. I encourage every single one of you guys to go book a call. I will post this call replay in school where it will live forever. And that call, not only will the call replay be in there, but the link where you can learn more about EZ REI Closings. You can book a free call to learn more about how you can get started with them. And they will even teach you on that call how you can work with them for free, how you're able and how they can help you pass along a lot of the fees directly on to your seller, to your buyer, to whoever it may be that you are working with, to where you can essentially work with these guys and girls with no money out of your own pocket, no cost in the end. It is phenomenal. So again, we're going to get this posted. David, thank you so much for your time today.
Very welcome.
And I hope that some of the individuals here in school, hopefully lots of these individuals will book this call and learn how they can work with you guys and girls to get their freedom back. And the cost is not that it's very, very affordable, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's really more so about just getting your time back. 30% of the time spent by, some of the most successful flippers and wholesalers out there is in closing coordination and title work. So just offload that, outsource it, get rid of that task, get your freedom back. And I can promise you, if you could take 30% of your time and you could dedicate that to doing what you're good at and what you truly enjoy doing, ideally marketing, running appointments, talking to sellers, making offers, you can easily 2, 3, 4x your business by putting in your time and energy into the activities that are going to actually yield you the highest results. And I can promise you that spending your own time trying to close and trying to do transaction coordination or closing coordination is not typically going to be the best use of your time. I can promise you guys that, right? So again, I highly encourage you guys to book that call. Dave, what you got?
That's it, man. Just let us help you catapult your business. Every single one of us sat down at the beginning of this year and we had goals, and only you know what your goals were. But have you hit those goals? What is it that's holding you back? If your answer is time, let me give you your time back.
Yep, we're almost halfway through the year. We got 10 days left, and then we're halfway through the year. So you guys should really take a second look at your goals too, and see how you've progressed, and see how far you've come. And celebrate that a little bit. But also, if you're way behind the curve, now might be a good time to think about, spending less time on these mundane, time-consuming tasks and focus more so on the marketing and the talking to sellers and the appointments and the offers and the things that are actually going to get you paid. So Dave, I want to respect your time. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. We'll get this recording up into school here in the next hour or two. And with that being said, book your call and we'll see you guys in the next training. I think we're having a training on Thursday of this week. We'll see you guys then. Thank you so much.
House so easy, we close fast and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it, we'll throw cash, it hits so fast, don't know what to do. Wanted to care to keep it, no declutter.